I know everybody's excited about the new Bronco, but the Bronco's smaller sibling, the Bronco Sport, should not be dismissed. Want to spend a few days and a few wardrobe changes with me getting to know the Bronco Sport? Great. Here's the gist. The Bronco Sport is a compact SUV built on the same C2 platform as the Escape, but Ford has positioned the Bronco Sport as a rugged SUV. And not just some body-cladding graphic package version of rugged either. Nope, this little guy is legit. Ooh, sneak peek. But first, let's get the pragmatic details out of the way. The interior is highly functional. There's storage in the dash, the controls are easy to use, second row foot space is outstanding, as is headroom thanks to a stepped roofline. Up front, the seats are soft yet supportive, and out back there's plenty of cargo space, plus a welcome surprise. Aw, flip-up glass. I missed you. I mean, it's kind of a narrow pass-through, but still, nice thing to have. You think I can crawl through there? Oh, my torso, why did I do this? Oh, the groin. Yeah, no, the system works, it's cool. Granted, the pass-through is narrow, but for quickly tossing items on your cargo pile, the flip-up rear window is great. From a packaging perspective, the Bronco Sport boasts strong fundamentals. Those positives are reinforced by a sophisticated on-road character. When simply commuting, cabin noise is inoffensive and the ride is supple. The Bronco Sport also tracks with great stability both in a straight line and in corners. Not having to make frequent steering corrections makes for a relaxed ride. Moving to Powertrain, if you'd like plentiful power, select the optional 2-liter EcoBoost engine, though by the numbers, the smaller 1.5-liter 3-cylinder engine found in lower trims is a perfectly adequate choice. Both engines use a competent 8-speed automatic transmission that promptly chooses the right gear when you press the accelerator. Simply put, the Bronco Sport is a pleasure to drive, even if you never take it off-road. To be clear, you should definitely take it off-road. No joke, the Ford Bronco Sport is legit off-road. For starters, 4-wheel drive is standard. With the 1.5-liter engine, you get basic 4-wheel drive plus 5 drive modes that Ford calls GOAT modes, as in goes over any terrain. The 2-liter engine offers 7 GOAT modes, including a rock crawl mode, plus an upgraded all-wheel drive system with a locking twin-clutch rear drive unit, similar to the one found in the Focus RS. And hey, good news everybody, we're driving the 2-liter. With all those details on the table, how's about we subject the Bronco Sport's componentry to the real world? Let's see how the Bronco Sport does on sand. Sand mode. Engaged. Ooh, kind of step out the tail a little bit. Cool. All right, this is gonna be fun. The rear differential will overdrive the outside rear tire to help the car rotate. Yeah, so I wasn't sure how this is gonna be. It's not just like capable enough. The Bronco Sport is actually really fun on sand. So this section is going to be fun. It's more of a hard pack thing. First lap, kind of mellow. Let's see. Big right-hander, using power to get us around. Oh yeah, you can counter steer. Sweet! I wonder if I can use some of those dirtfish techniques to bring the tail around using the brakes, and I think I can. Oh, that's cool. So you can use a little dab of brake to bring the tail around? Ooh, yes. This is where that left foot braking technique really comes in handy. Oh, yes. This is cool. This is more like a rally car than I would have expected. So cool how you can use weight transfer. Whoa, yeah. A lot of weight transfer. I think the Bronco Sport and I are beginning to have an understanding. Although I can't see the course now. Counter steer? Sweet. This is so much more tossable. I lost my microphone. Usually with a compact SUV, you have just terminal understeer. You turn the steering wheel as hard as you want and it'll just sort of plow and plow and plow. But with the Bronco Sport, you can use the brake and the accelerator to balance the vehicle through corners and make it point in the direction that you want to point it. I didn't expect the Bronco Sport to be that fun. Hot dog. That was great. Just keep up your momentum, and the Bronco Sport is an undeniable blast on the sand. But you know, when folks think about off-roading, maybe they don't think about sand. Maybe they have visions of epically craggy mountain trails.
Sounds good to me. Let's do that. This is a fairly technical section. We're going through very, very rocky. So you'll hear a spotter in the background. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, good to go. We're gonna bring you in, driver.
So this seems like a driver skill thing, but it really isn't. It's mostly about the spotter and the car.
Passenger, sir. Passenger.
By the way, I'm in rock crawl mode right now. Changes the throttle mapping, makes the steering nice and light. All-wheel drive system functions a little bit differently. It'll get power to the ground. Rear locker is activated.
You can go a little more, driver.
This is very crackly.
Okay, right up here, we're gonna try to get your driver tire right up onto the rock.
In those little bits where it starts to slip, does a good job of
They're coming, driver.
getting power to the tower. Ooh, a little scraped him. Not too bad. Huh. I think that would have been a lot more complicated without a spotter, but yeah, I think the Bronco Sport did a great job there. I wouldn't have tried that in a CRV. On deeply rutted or super rocky trails, you can definitely run out of ground clearance, but if you choose the right line, the Bronco Sport does an amazing job of getting the power to the ground. You can do some serious off-roading in the little Bronco.
Suburbia, sand, and summit. The Ford Bronco Sport appears to do it all. In cheapest form, you can snag a base trim for a little less than $28,000, including destination charges and standard gear like cloth seats, 4 USB ports, an 8-inch infotainment screen, and the Ford Copilot 360 suite of active driver assists.
The 8-inch Sync 3 infotainment system works well. It's a simple interface, easy to use. I think choosing a color besides blue might have spiced things up, but overall, I like it. And I like the fact there's this little lip down here, so if you're going off-road and bouncing around, you have somewhere to anchor your fingers for all that poking. Nope, can't afford the royalties.
Choose the well-equipped and hardier Badlands trim with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine and that sweet twin-clutch all-wheel drive system, and you're looking at nearly $34,000. To round things out, here are some random observations from my time in the Bronco Sport. A high hood line makes the Sport seem more substantial from the driver's seat than it really is. Visibility over the driver's right shoulder is impeded by a thick C-pillar and the rear headrest. Speaking of, the rear quarters are roomy, but I wish the headrests weren't so close to my head, and I also wish the seatbacks had a recline function. For loading child seats, wider opening rear doors would be nice.
One last thing, if you go to the vent and you turn them, there's a little click. It's like Ford's been stealing Mercedes-Benz's interior tactile playbook. Click, click.
Among the competition, there are plenty of well-regarded alternatives. Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Hyundai Tucson to name a few. But tack on all-wheel drive, and their prices land roughly in line with the Bronco Sport. The Sport also occupies the interesting end of the ruggedness spectrum, adding to its desirability. On that note, if you compare to, let's say, the Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, you'd actually save money going with the Bronco Sport Badlands instead. Of course, if you're going to buy an SUV called Bronco, something like this would be pretty sweet. But there is no shame in rocking the smaller and less expensive alternative.
The Ford Bronco Sport is comfortable, practical, and depending on the trim, it's way more capable off-road than it needs to be. If you want a compact SUV that does pretty much everything, that's your ticket.
Come on, Osmo! I believe in you! Ah, I can't see anything! What the?